Hey folks, it is Tuesday, the 9th of February, and I'm coming right back to do what I usually do, which is talk a little music and a little other stuff, just to let you know that everything is fine. Everything is fine. You know, we have to take risks in life and do what we think is best, and when I speak out like I do publicly, it's a risk, and read my face. I'm fine. Okay. So, I don't have any new records to show you. I'll just talk about some records I've been playing. Okay. Oh, before I do that, I'll talk about some music that I don't have physically, but some newer music that I've been listening to lately that I'm impressed with. Okay. So, I play with a variety of people, and one of the groups that I'm playing with, we've gone by the name of Agronomo, or I think we're going to call it Chemicals now. But the drummer is only 19. And a recent show that we played, he had a friend of his play with us on guitar who's only 17, okay? So they're obviously generations away from me, and they're listening to music that I'm not listening to because it's, it's their music. And there's some fantastic stuff out there. I'll write the names if you can't understand what I say, but one band, he turned me on to two, and then I discovered one myself by looking at them. Hiatus Coyote. I had not heard of this band. Very new soul. I don't know. They're always trying to come up with genres, but it's like you can hear the roots of Stevie Wonder and cool jazz in this music, blended with this, what I guess you could call the hip hop layer of the foundation now. The way that it's changed the beat. I really like the last album they put out. Just heard it. He also turned me on to an R&B group I had not heard of that we're going to be covering, actually, a band called the Foreign Exchange. Musically, I was very impressed. Lyrically, it was the same old stuff, not impressive. The music, very jazzy. And another band that I discovered through listening to the hip-hop radio station that I've been doing more of now, which is partially due to my mentoring and being involved with these kids and just, trying to be more in touch with the world they live in. But a band that I think is really good musically is called The Internet. Intriguing band because, well, the first video I saw their latest video, Girl, I'm looking at the singer and I'm trying to figure, is that a girl? Is that a guy? And I couldn't figure, so I kept looking at I thought it must be a pretty young guy. I can't tell. Then I did some research, and it's a woman. But the music is tough. Lyrics, it's like, it's a generational thing. The way that people talk about each other, it's not a way that I like. But the music is great. The Internet, Hiatus Coyote, Foreign Exchange, and Flying Lotus is in the mix here. I don't have his latest, well, I do now on my computer because, again, the band, we're going to cover it. I have two of his other albums, which has taken me a while to get acclimated to, and now I'm understanding it even more now, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So there's some neat music going on, okay? The other thing I'll say is I read that the Internet came out of the Odd Future posse of people, which is Tyler, the Creator, and those guys. So, obvious creativity going on there. I'm more interested in the music than the words, though. Okay, so getting into some music that I've been playing out of my collection. Albert Daly, The Day After the Dawn. Jazz pianist who passed away much too young, quite a while ago actually, at a young age. This starts off kind of like contemporary classical music, and on first listen it seems kind of sterile. I actually ended up playing this album 2.5 times all the way through, and each time it became clearer how bold of a move this album was for this black musician at the time. This was like, it's 1972. because it ends up getting into jazz as well as some slightly avant-garde things. This is quite good, actually. Quite good. Albert Daly. Sorry, the sun is shining. Okay. Albert Daly. He's got Roy Haynes. Is that on the drummer? Yeah. That's one of the names that I recognize on here. But I had bought this used several years ago, and when I bought it and played it, it didn't make an impression. And I'm glad to have taken the time. This is quite good. Quite good. Soft Machine. I've talked about this band in the past many times. When I heard Soft Machine's third album in high school, where they do a Terry Riley sort of thing, where it's the looping, cycling piano riff, it blew my head open. So this period of Soft Machine is when they're becoming kind of jazz light almost, but this album is still good. Good album. And at the end of this album, on side 2, they do a short version of the looping thing, the Terry Riley sort of, I'm not describing it well, but the thing that caught my attention about them on the third album. They do it on this album as well at the end. Listened to some old Porcupine Tree last night, The Sky Moves Sideways. This is the 3-record set. There's been many versions of this put out. Sorry about the light. Old Porcupine Tree isn't, you can hear, for me, I can hear that the music is in development, kind of like the way I hear my own stuff, when I listen to my old stuff. You can hear that this person has an idea. The idea is kind of, he's reaching for it. He hasn't gotten there yet. And this album that's a good way to describe this album. Great cover. Great cover. It's a good album that forecasts what came after. They just got so much better. Meat Beat Manifesto, Jack Dangers. Love this guy's work. Electronics, beats, Asbestos, Lead Asbestos. This is a 12-inch single. I like all the remixes on here. Great stuff. I showed this in my last video and I had to play it again. Pulled the vinyl, Opeth, Still Life. This is just a masterpiece of metal, in my opinion. Just a masterpiece of an album. Just incredibly good. If I hear it, it gets played all the way through. I pulled this, started to play it, wasn't in the mood, but it's out for later. Aphex Twins, Caustic Window. 3 LPs or 3 12 inches. I have to be in the mood for this electronic stuff. It can be really kind of jarring. You know, I'm not a club goer, so that aspect of electronic music is lost on me because I don't go out to dance and hardly ever did. So it was never the context of electronic music for me. So the driving beat, I have to be in the mood for it. Mostly I'm interested in the sounds and the textures. An old record that has aged somewhat but still is really quite good. Duet Emo. Gilbert and Lewis of Wire teamed up with Daniel Miller, who ran Mute Records, put out this thing called Duet Emo, and this is a single they put out called Or So It Seems. And the B-side of this is really what's cool. It's ahead of its time. You know, they try something that's mostly works, but the reason why I say it sounds dated is because you can hear, this was sometime in the 80s. So the production dates it, but the idea is like, this is interesting. I still haven't heard anything like this. This is really, really actually very good. Classic German rock, or in my opinion, German rock. Guru Guru, Kanguru. And I was playing Ooga Booga in particular off of this. Manny Neumeier, the drummer right there, who still alive. Great guy. I hope that he is lauded in Germany. I think the guy is probably, like I go on about the people here that I love. I think this Manny Neumeier is someone who probably historically for German rock music has quite a story to tell, I'll bet you. So those are some records sitting out besides the ones that I just... Oh, here's another one that I had played. Youssou N'Dour from Senegal, singer who I discovered through Peter Gabriel. This is a 12-inch single called Undecided, where he does a duet with Nena Cherry, Don Cherry's daughter. The Deep Forest remixes are a distraction. I love the man's voice. So I'll end the video being frank as I always am. I, again, am so thankful that the majority of people are reasonable and sane and with me, you know. I still had to delete a comment or two from my last video, the whole story. Some people are just really... What can you do? What can be done? Some people are just lost, you know. And the thing that they don't understand is when I read their comment, the main thing that comes at me is their problem, not me. That's how I know that insight and intelligence are important for development, because if you can't understand, then you remain ignorant. And many of the the comments that I delete and the comments that bother me are ignorant, including the ones where people come talking religion. You don't know me. You haven't watched my videos. I went to monastery. I know the Bible. I know where I stand. That's the other thing. My understanding is that many of the wise people that I've encountered have an objectivity that allows them to realize that they don't know everything. They just have their experience and the knowledge that they've acquired. When people come at me, for example, people who are religious zealots, it's so obvious by what they're saying is that they just think that what their experience is what the truth is, with no objectivity about the fact that it's just their experience. They're only one person. Not every human being can have the exact same experience, nor can every person have the exact same interpretation of information, including the Bible. So coming at me, not knowing me, talking about, you know, you need Jesus, that's lame. Again, it just sounds ignorant. It's not a put down. That's a clear statement, okay? It's like, we don't know, and so to come here trying to tell me that you know what I need to do, I'm not telling you what you need to do. I'm sharing with you my experience, but I never tell you what you're supposed to think and do. And so when you come and try to tell me what to think and do, it just sounds ignorant, because it is. All you know is your experience. Respect to your experience. Mine is obviously different.